Three entrepreneurs, one podcast, zero chance we agree on everything. This is the Ron Table. Where business gets real, life gets messy, guests drop in, opinions fly, and yes, flipping quotes are basically a second language. Business, life, and occasional dumpster fires. Pull up your seat and let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back for episode 11 of the Ron Table, where corporate trauma becomes entrepreneurial wisdom. We got lots of trauma around this table. I am Ron Miller, flanked by the battle-tested Nicole Gray and Laine Belcastro, two legends who survived corporate trenches and now help others build smarter from the jump. So welcome back. Very happy to kind of hit this topic about getting some corporate experience, love it or hate it, how it really can be beneficial in the entrepreneurial world. So take it away, Laine. I know this was something you really wanted to kind of talk about. So why don't you start us off here?
I just feel like we bash corporate so much, and I don't think we give it credit where credit is due. I do think that everyone should be in corporate for a year or two when they first start out in the working world. It does give you so much. And whether that's showing you what to do or what not to do, because it shows us what not to do. But before you go out on your own, I feel like working in corporate America gives you the skills to deal with difficult people, office politics. You still deal with that even outside when you are on your own. And then it also tells you how to talk to people professionally. A lot of people don't know how to do these days. And I just feel strongly that everyone should work in corporate. And it's gotten to the point where I meet people and I'll communicate with them, whether it's networking or we're talking about business together or working together. I see how they craft an email to me or how they don't follow up. And if you were in a corporate America job, which you clearly never probably were, you would know how that works. You would know how to craft an email in a professional manner. But write an email to me that shows me you're interested or shows appreciation or just shows me that you know how to form sentences. Have that training before you go out on your own, run your business.
Well, I agree with what you said. I will say they do need to get bashed, especially on these later. But what I will give you is before you could build your brand, you have to learn how to survive the boardroom. And that's with anything. I mean, to me, corporate America is no different than high school, which you had to learn before you go to corporate. For me, taught me how to play the game. Because it is a game. And in corporate America saying, I'm never going to drink Kool-Aid. Even if you say you're not drinking the Kool-Aid, you're drinking the Kool-Aid. Because it is a game. And it's kind of like the first time you learn us and them. The first time you learn, how to deal with a bad manager. The first time you learn how to be at a meeting and kind of finagle folks in the is how you deal with all different types of people. And I think even taking it a step further, I applaud, and I know I was one of those, had to start out like in customer service and work my way. Because customer service right now is dead. You go to any store, restaurant, whatever, I'm sorry, the people clue how to deal with people. And if you're dealing with people, I think that's an art and a gift. If you know how to deal with people, talk to people, you can observe people, how you can kind of adapt your surroundings, because they're not being taught that. And I don't know if that's a whole nother another show. But if you can deal with people, you can not only how to play the game, but then also taught me how to break the rules. And that to me prepares an entrepreneur, because it is a totally different ball game. And you've got to be like mentally aware. And if you go straight to high school and build it is going to kill you. I mean, you're going to struggle. You're going to have a time because you've got to learn all of that while trying to have a company going. And I read a really good thing. This quote, somebody said, you get paid when else is dying. And I thought that was key. And I think that's helped like folks like us. We were kind of learning and trying to figure on our own. Somebody else is paying us within 94. We had to figure out how to make sure. So, yeah.
That's really almost like your second form of college, because college, you know, the book skills and all of that, but it really doesn't teach you how to deal with those people, and it throws you into the world. And if you go from school to having your own business, I think a lot of people think, oh, well, I'll just start my own thing and then I won't have to deal with any of that. but you do have to
Yeah.
do it even on your own. And if you go into running your own business thinking, oh, everyone's perfect and beautiful and butterflies, and
You got your leadership who doesn't know what they're doing. They're pretty much like the principals, the mean girls. You know, it's
You have your people that have more NDAs than they do have
Yes.
years of.
I mean, you got to learn how to finagle all those different groups. And I feel like, again, that's a science and a game. If you can do that, fine. You'll be fine.
For me, corporate life has pluses and minuses, just like anything else. And I think as an entrepreneur, where the value of it really comes through, I call it the 5 Ps, right? These are my 5 Ps, my 5 takeaways. It teaches you process, it teaches you policy, it teaches you politics, people, and pacing, right? And I think it gives you the insight in living in the machine, living in the structure, and understanding why systems matter. Because whether you're a coach, you're a consultant, you're a business owner creating a product, you have to have a structure and a system for yourself and what you're going to build and grow. And if you're trying to inspire others, I got into this because I wanted to help other small businesses learn from my scars and everything that I saw go wrong to help them maybe have a better chance of survivability, because maybe my experience and my insight would help them not make the mistakes and go down this road I've seen over 30 years, and I wanted to bring that to other entrepreneurs to help them instead of working and being a cog in that machine, because I didn't want to drink late and I wanted to do something. And when you try and buck the system when you're in corporate, you got to know when you can go outside of the rules, when the machine needs to be broken, the right way to do it, when the machine needs to not be paid attention to and the right way to do it, and when you just have to be that cog in the machine. Yep. There are right and wrong ways to do it. And I think as a future entrepreneur or a consultant or a coach, you need to understand those processes, policies, people, politics. You need to understand those 5 Ps if you're going to make an impact. It's not as easy as, oh, you're in corporate, create another revenue stream before you get out.
I think,
right.
Oh, go
And
Laine.
Ron, I was going to say, Ron, your 5 Ps are much better to go by than the Beverly Hills Cop Serge. But 3 Ps, protection, prestige, and pretty. I think a lot of people go into it with the Beverly Hills Cop version of the 3 Ps. And you're like, yes, Serge. But I think a lot of people go into it like that because they haven't seen the horrors behind the scenes of corporate. Again, it's not all terrible, but you do have to see those things that go wrong, because once you're in it and you've had that experience, you can go and build your business even better because you want it to be better than what you saw in corporate. And that also gives you more ideas what you want your business to be and how you want it run. For me, I always knew I wanted my own business, but I knew being in my industry, these people are not doing this right. They're more interested in profitability versus what's best for the client. And so I want to build my business based on what the client needs. And hopefully I get profit.
I am Shawshank. I am Andrea because I had to crawl through years of bullshit to stay out in the rain and just thank God that it was over. But yeah, it's even with joking, I still go back to, but I survived it. And to me, if you can survive that, you can't tell me there's not anything else you could do. I mean, because I still got left in Shawshank. I go visit them every once in a while, but I just know it was Iran. They do not like that, and that's kind of like we live in today.
Right.
They do not like that. So you got to have to figure out how to finagle and get your stuff done. How do I get more budget? How do I get that extra seat to fill because one person is left? They're telling me that they can't. How do I get to use these tools if they said we can't afford them? Figure all that stuff out. And then sometimes you just get to the point where you experience I wasn't the only woman in the room. So it was a challenge, and it got to the point to where, yeah, I figured it out, but it also burned me out. But I take that, and that holds me to those days where if I'm not getting the client I thought I was going to get, worse. If, I'm spending more money, it's not working. Again, you've been the worst. You got to have to keep those experiences when you're an entrepreneur to keep it going because you've survived something. And every day is up and down. It's peaks and valleys as an entrepreneur. It's not always going to be, because it was like that in corporate America. So you can come in realistic, like you were in corporate mentally, but the people who come in, and it's like, I'm going to get 7 figures in 30 seconds. It's never going to happen.
No. Lightning in a bottle occurs, but it occurs 150 billion times.
Yeah.
So, I mean, can it happen? Sure. But I think more likelihood is, some of these people, and I see this all the time on different platforms. Everyone's a goddamn expert, right? Oh, I worked in recruiting for 3 months here and 4 months there and 7 months here. And now I'm going to go on my own and I'm going to coach recruiters, and I'm putting out Bible, and it's all bullshit. You look at what they're posting out there, it's generic garbage. It doesn't align to anything but their principles, because they've not lived long enough in the 5 Ps. I commend you for trying this early, but chances are, like a lot of us who have been doing this for a long time in corporate and try and go out on our own, over half of us are going to have to wind back up in corporate. You have a choice, because not all of us are going to survive.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, you're not, and it's hard. Been in corporate and you've seen people fail and you've seen companies fail. You also have the skill set to say, okay, well, because I've seen this happen, so I'm not doing something wrong. It might just not be working. You can also learn to deal with that, and you can say, okay, well, now I know how to pick myself back up and either go get a job or fix what I'm doing and pivot and do all these different things. Those skills to
and guess what? You got to do what you got to do. Have friends who entrepreneur, it did work, and they're like, they had to go back. I have a girlfriend just right now, but things have slowed down. So now she's at TD Bank. She's like in the office, and there's still this part of her didn't. You're a single mother. You did the best that you could. You didn't fail. That your business is not going away. You're just like, hey, bills. That's called being realistic. I mean, because that's just part of whether you're a corporate or entrepreneur. You got to do what you got to do for your business and your family. So, yeah.
I've seen so many people, especially this year, who have been on their own. And I've seen so many people post on LinkedIn saying, I have my business, but I need to go back to corporate. And they're very open about saying, this isn't what I planned, but I got what's right for me. And there's no shame in that.
Which is key. That's another part of.
And they didn't burn the bridges.
That's another part.
You don't want to burn those bridges. I still keep in touch with so many bosses from the past who have seen me on LinkedIn and referred business to me now. So you don't want to burn bridges. You might have to go back. You want to know what you're walking into.
I think the value of those lessons, of that experience, those relationships, I think it enriches you as a person. And if you want to help others, I think it teaches you of how, again, if you approach with empathy and a learning heart, it can help you connect with individuals from every walk of life, because you're not going in thinking you have all the answers. You have to help them connect dots to do what's right for their business. And that experience that you can gain either in a small business, a large business, or a corporate environment, I think is invaluable for everybody.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's just my opinion.
No, it's Ron, we love your opinion.
We love your it's always valued. But I also think it's good to have the corporate experience, because once you do start your own business, it's almost like you're more grateful, because you're like, holy shit, I'm not going back to that.
Yeah.
I'll do whatever. You almost work harder because you know what you're missing out on, and you don't want to go back. And you like, that's my motivation a lot. Like, I constantly say I'd rather be homeless than go back, because I can't do it.
I was in a really bad girl group, and now I'm solo. So I don't need those bitches in the back anymore. I'm good. So I'm going to try. If I still can't sell a stadium out, I'll juggle or become a clown. But I don't ever want to go back to the solo thing. All right, that experience, and find out the win for the week. I'm going to kick it off with Mr. It's just my opinion, Ron Miller.
I think so many WTFs out there at this juncture in life. I mean, I feel like it's WTF spiral.
Yeah. One time just called WTF. Do like our top 10.
Yeah. I'm going to keep it simple and say my WTF is this weather that we all are having, especially here in the Northeast. I love summer, but I cannot remember a summer where it was either 71 and raining for 86 with a feels like of 98. I mean, this humidity, WTF.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. It's like the second week of July. So that is my WTF.
Yeah.
So my for the win, you're going to hear this here first. I'm going to share an exclusive.
This is so
Here's an
exciting.
Lean in.
So you can
Lean in.
lean in.
What-
Some people may be excited, some aren't, but I have gone ahead and made a minor investment, and I have purchased 5 domains because I am going to be putting together, and over the next couple of weeks, launching the recruiter training, which will be a online virtual school for baseline teaching recruiters how to be a recruiter, tools, tricks, tips, how to connect.
Nice.
But there will be lessons available for sale, and that will be hopefully for my win. Otherwise, I will be returning the corporate.
I thought it had something to do with the Yankees. He said I put my money in. I was like, oh, he's about to say it.
I know. I'm like, no.
Listen, everybody who watches baseball, the Yankees are done. We don't have any consistent hitting. Boone needs to go. Cashman needs to go. I mean, this is just...
You're talking to 2 women living in Atlanta that we feel your pain. We feel your pain. Now,
Yeah.
kick us off with your WF and then end with your for the win.
Well, I guess this goes with my WTF is I watched the Lisa, what's always entertainment related. I watched the Lisa Frank docu-series. It is heartbreaking. Do you remember Lisa
tell us
Frank?
more.
Like the Lisa Frank was in the 80s when it had the colorful dolphin folders and all of the fan school supplies. Love Lisa Frank, everything Lisa Frank. I watched the documentary and I was thinking it's going to take me down the nostalgia lane. And it was so horrifying and sad because she is a giant POS.
Wow.
Horrible.
On
To
Netflix?
be honest. It's on Prime.
Okay.
I'll watch it and let you know. But it's either Prime or Hulu, but it's horrifying because she ruined so many people's lives. And somehow she's still in business and reviving the brand. And then I watched the documentary and I can never buy it.
It's amazing how assholes always seem to
Yeah.
win.
It's like perfect example of corporate gone bad. So that's my WTF. My win is Ozzy Osbourne had a final
saw
concert,
that.
and my boy Steven Tyler was up on stage. So he's working on his vocals because he ruptured them a year ago. So I'm really hoping that this means maybe there'll be like one final Aerosmith show, like just one show. But the Ozzy concert was ridiculously amazing.
Nice. All right,
That's
folks.
my
My WTF, folks. I'm going to say this every once in a while. It's coming out in 2025. It's the remake of the Arnold Schwarzenegger Running Man. That was the film that was 1986. Folks in Hollywood who stop regurgitating our movies from the 80s and 90s. Okay, it's called Be Original. I'm so over, this whole, and guess who's in it? Glenn Powell. He can't be in every movie. Okay.
No.
Isn't this like the third time now they're remaking The Running Man and RoboCop and all that crap?
It's not. It's just the third time they're remaking an Arnold movie. I don't know why they have to feel the need to remake Arnold's movies. Like, stop it. The originals, we love them for a reason. Okay. So my win is Ben Shelton. He's one of only 2 in Wimbledon. It's the quarterfinals. He's the number 10 seed. He's amazing to watch. Girlfriend, little. So, yeah. Her dad is Dennis Rodman. And he's one of them, and we'll see what happens. But, But anyway, going back to remaking your movies, I just Hollywood to stop. That's all.
Just get some ideas.
Yeah, it comes out, I'm going to take it to my bed. Okay. Or any of the John Hughes movies, I'm taking to my bed. Just putting that out.
That's how I feel about the Goonies. Like, why we got to touch it?
Shouldn't be touching. Like, Nicole, I relate this to you. Like, tennis for me is like vegetables for you.
No tennis for Ron.
Don't do that,
No.
Ron. Our football season right around the corner. So,
And I'm a Giants fan.
Yeah, we can.
well,
commiserate
I'll
in
just
our
give my
misery.
condolences to you both. Okay. All right, Ron.
All right, so let's close this out. You don't have to love corporate life to learn from it, right? I think it's safe to say that there's more that you'll take away than more that you lose if you let yourself get the takeaways and don't get lost in the, right? You get past those awkward reviews, those endless approvals, those circling back conversations. They've all helped to kind of shape you and sharpen your image, right? And it gives you advantage because now when you're running your own show, you got the receipts and the resolve in the background to really put out there. So don't downplay that time in the system. Use it, because the best rebels are the ones who used to write. So with that, we'll close out this episode. Until next time. Thank you, Laine and Nicole, as always, and we'll see you when you're ready to pull our chairs back up to the table.
Yeah.
Well, that's a wrap on this episode of The Ron Tape. Thanks for pulling up your chair, lending us your ear, and not touching our drums. Interested in more chaos and common sense and conversations? Well, make sure that you hit that like button or the follow button. Or drop us a question or a comment in the comment section below. Want to follow us on social media? You can check out more under the resources tab at www.elevate-talent-solutions.com. Or you can visit Nicole Gray at renewedimpact.com. Hit up Laine Belcastro at lmbdigimarketing.com. And a big shout out to our producer and co-host, Adrian Roughart at acrventures.com. Until next time, keep that chair warm.